Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on NewsX. We're in conversation today with the lead stars of the much-awaited PS1. Yes, the epic is finally all set to release on the big screen, and you're going to soon be able to enjoy their labor of love. Welcome all of you firstly to NewsX. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me begin with you first, Vikram, on how the journey of PS1 began for you. What intrigued you about your role, and how did the journey happen and start?
I've always been fascinated by Aditya Karikalan, and so when Mani sir spoke to me, I think he felt I should do it, and it seemed like the obvious choice for him at that moment. And I was very excited. Then we did it again. I mean, he didn't start that movie. He started again a couple of years later, and he called me for this again. And I was very thrilled. Initially, I was a little apprehensive because it was a multi-starrer, and do I need to do it now and things like that. But now I was like whole hog. I suddenly realized it is a very important part of our history, and this is a film that's been waiting to be made, and I just wanted to be a part of it in any small way also.
Okay. Trisha, let me come to you next. Tell us a bit more about your role firstly, and also about what appealed to you about the project. Was it the history? Was it Mani Ratnam? Was it the fact that you're going to be sharing the screen space with so many talented actors? What was it?
All of it.
You see, you gave away all the answers.
Yeah, you answered my question. But of course, primarily Mani sir.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I would not even question what he was doing. I would just like to be part of a Mani Ratnam sir's film. And what appealed to me about this is, see, to be honest, since I've lived in Chennai all my life, I've had people who've read the book at home already. So I kind of already had a notion about how Kundavai is. I've read the books. And what's not appealing? I mean, she's all woman, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's such a brilliant character to be brought onto celluloid, and I mean, who better than a Mani sir to direct this? So it was pretty much like you said it all for me.
Okay. Karthi, I won't answer your question, so I'll let you have your say. Tell us, of course, about your role, and also, had you read the book before, or did you read it once you signed on the project? Did you want to have a relatability, some sort of character relatability from the book, or did you go clean slate?
No, I haven't read the book before I signed the project, but after I signed the project, sir said you first read the screenplay.
Okay.
And then you read the book. So I had to read the script, and then I told sir what I felt about, because finally I'm the new age audience, or rather somebody who's unaware of the book. So I gave him my feedback, and then I went back to the book and started reading it, because my character travels through the film. He's like the narrator of the film. So I meet everyone in the film, and there is a lot of fan following for all of our characters. So you have to justify this character.
Yeah.
And without knowing what had actually impressed them, which comes from the writing of Kalki sir, I don't think I was able to, be able to do justice. So I went back to the book, read about it. And this guy is just a flamboyant fellow in 1,000 years back. His kingdom was captured by Cholas. So he works for the Cholas now. Though he's a prince himself, he's got a royal blood, but still he is under the Cholas. But he's a very good friend of Aditya Karikalan. And then eventually he gets to meet the entire royalty, and then other people also. In the thing. So that was very interesting, because he meets the commons as well as the royals.
Yeah.
So he has a very different banter with the commons. And when it comes to the royals, he has a very different relationship with the crown prince, the princess, and then the little prince. So I had fun relating to each character that way.
Ravi, tell us about your character a bit more, and also, for you, how is it like shooting it? Because shooting a film like this is an experience in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I simply cannot put it in words, this experience, the whole experience was overwhelming for me, because first time with Mani sir, and my character, in Tamil Nadu, they just look at him like he's the god, for the greatness that he is, for the great things that he's done. So there was that pressure initially for me, but Mani sir made sure, forget about all that. Now it's our duty to project this man as who he was. So we sat together, and Mani sir gave me a wide range of narration about this character. It helped me a lot. I think I've performed my best. Yeah.
No doubt. Vikram, I want to quickly come back to you on a point you made earlier about why you also came on board for the project before getting back to the film, on the history as well. You know, that this is some history that needs to be told. Now, you also give a very passionate, answer the other day, which has gone viral. Firstly, did you expect that to go viral, firstly?
Not really, but I just, like, he said something which was, like, suddenly questioned the very reason for the film. Like, he was saying something like, why are you going back to the past? We should always look at the future, blah, blah, blah. So, and we were all searching for answers. How do we answer that? And suddenly I said, no, I mean, come on, history is so important. And I got carried away, that's all. So I wasn't thinking anything at that moment.
No, but it was your heart speaking. And
yeah, exactly. But I feel that, personally, you'll be surprised to know that we know about Harsha, and I mean, we know about Ashoka, and we know about the Maurya dynasty, and we know about everything that's happened over India, because it's there in our history books. But we, personally, I don't know if it can be said, but I feel that none of that is there in the north. Like, nobody knows about the Cholas. You know, it's not been, because I feel this is one India, right? And everything is like, I was just thinking, if, when we play cricket, all of us feel the same feeling, whether it's in Chennai or in Mumbai or in Delhi. Likewise, when there is a skirmish on the borders, all of us relate, and most of the people, I mean, a lot of India, Tamils are there, or a lot of Andhra, Telugu people, you know, South India, it's the thing. So I feel everybody should be tuned to what history is. True. And, you know, so I feel that Cholas have taken a backseat, considering they've been such a powerful dynasty, and the only maritime force at that time, you know, all over the world. So that rankles a bit. But having said that, I think this is a good reason for people to actually look into that window and see that world through Mani sir's eyes, and I think he's done a great job. And
do you believe that we should be telling more of India's stories and celebrate, because there's so much to tell. Even recently the Kiladi excavation also happened. That also was an eye-opener.
Exactly.
And now, of course, through this film, people will learn about the Cholas.
Everything.
Even Tanaji, I'm saying. Even Tanaji was an eye-opener for us.
Exactly. See, we all know about Tanaji, we know about Prithviraj, we know everybody. You know, it's like that. So it's so important for us to know everything. So I think Chola is also something that people, because there's so much to learn from that dynasty. And like, we all speak about it, like there were barbarians around the world while we were actually flourishing, not just the Cholas. I think all over India. Our civilization goes back like Hindus.
Exactly. And you also feel, Trisha, that, you know, these stories rooted in India are being celebrated a lot at the box office as well. The South has always made those, you know, stories.
Absolutely.
And that's something that's not changed. But suddenly the North's appreciation has, you know, come for the South.
True. So I think it's Indian history, like we've been saying. And, you know, to be very honest, as an audience, I love cinema. As a third person I'm talking about, it's new to me. I mean, you know what you can expect sometimes out of a rom-com or a mass film, but this is like, even as an audience, I'm saying, not as an actor, I want to go and see, let's just see what there is, because even Ponniyan Selvan, I've learned so much after doing this film, after reading the books. Similar with like a Bahubali, you know, you just want to know what's in it, what's there. And I think we all love watching films. It's not just because we're actors. So there's a certain curiosity that brings the audiences to the theatre in regard to such films and the genre.
For you, you know, how was it like working also with Laika Productions, Madras Talkies, you know, big production houses, well-known names in the industry? How was the experience?
I think this is one of my biggest films.
I think he's part of the Madras Talkies family.
So I'll talk for
He's not the actor here. He's like...
I'm the outsider among the four. No, but the first day we went for shoot, I felt like going to a temple. You know, we woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we were ready by 3, and then we had to travel for an hour by road for 1 hour, and then by sea for 1 hour. And 6 o'clock we had the first shot. The Mani sir was gleaming. He was so happy that he's starting the film, that he wanted to shoot all the 40 years. And the production was something else. You know, I remember both of us were traveling and we were trying to find out where the location was. And there was a huge city there in the middle of the forest. I was wondering, who's up at this time of the day? And then I figured it was our unit. There were about 500 vehicles. There were food being cooked for the Thai people, then for the like South Indian food, North Indian food. It was all laid out there, and people were just, you know, there's so much work buzzing there.
A little city by itself.
Yeah, I mean, we had 1,000 junior artists every day, so they had to be dressed. They were given jewelry, and then all of us had to get dressed. So it was like a huge production, like any other international production. And it was just a sight to just watch how they were organizing, the logistics behind it. Imagine getting all of us there on the spot and getting it done. And for this film, you're trying to depict 10th century. So we had to go locations which is not easily accessible.
Yeah.
We had to do that extra 1 hour travel or walk to get there. And we were shooting in islands where we had to keep track of the high tide and low tide. Otherwise, you can't access it.
Yeah.
So this was there for every day. Unless Mani sir had done at least 2 years of pre-production, we couldn't have done this film.
Yeah.
It was stunning. I mean, Leica Productions, in spite of the pandemic, they made sure we were in a bubble. We were taken care of.
It's not easy,
and what about funds? It's not easy to move funds and make sure it's not stopped because of funds.
True.
They made sure we were all taken care of that way.
True. It's a larger-than-life experience, as I said, that's why shooting such a film. But do you believe that the audience also is liking these films a lot after COVID as well? Because people are trapped in lockdown spaces. So when they want this big screen experience, they want larger-than-life.
Yes, of course. I mean, that is why the big screen is made for.
Yeah.
And theatre is one kind of a place where there is no distinction between anybody. That's what I like about theatre. It's very philosophical in a way, and it is very practical in a way, but it is the humankind coming to enjoy what they enjoy the most. And all these people put together, they enjoy each and every actor of theirs, each and every comedy, all the different emotions. And it's a magical place where, you forget about all your worries. You sit, you laugh, you cry. And this experience will only be achieved in theatres, nowhere else.
Collective watching, no?
Yeah, it's
everything
like,
multiplies.
It's like happiness. Happiness, only if you share happiness, you can be happy.
Yes.
So I think the theatre does that for you. It's a beautiful feeling, and I'm glad that I'm part of this whole industry with these beautiful people.
You've also got, of course, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan in the film. How was it like for you working with her on sets? I read somewhere that you forgot some of your lines in some of the scenes. Is that true?
That was earlier.
Was that her effect?
No, I was in the shot and she was supposed to
In
dance.
Ravan, in Ravan.
In Ravan,
Yeah.
she was supposed to dance, and I forget my lines always.
Never.
So I had this wine glass in my hand, I'm watching her, she's supposed to dance, and I just come to the shot, she'd already rehearsed, and it was take immediately because, when she started dancing, I thought, wow, she's dancing so well, and I mean, she dances so well. And about 2-3 seconds into the take, I realized, oh shit, I'm supposed to, react and walk to her. It's never, usually happened to me because you're always aware of what you're doing. It was nice.
Last question to both of you, because you both worked, in Hindi film industry as well. But now do you feel when you're going to Mumbai for promotions, Delhi, there is this new excited interest in South films all of a sudden, and renewed interest in both of you also. What explains this, Trisha?
I feel it because, to be very honest, the Hindi film we did shoot in Mumbai, but that felt more like a South film to me because it was Priyadarshan sir and the whole unit was South, so it was only like Akshay who was, part of the thing. So, but I feel they're very welcoming and loving, and they have so much respect for us because of the body of work that's been coming out from the South in the last few years. So it's nice, but I would not really categorize it as South films, North films. I just feel there's so much respect for cinema today. Like, everyone's understood, it's not restricted to one industry, it's all about content. So whoever puts out the good content, we're here willing to sit down, watch it and appreciate it. So I like that. And I think that's kind of it started off maybe with Bahubali. Around that time. But they've always been very welcoming of good content, I feel. And so many of our South films have been remade over here.
Yeah.
I've never really categorized an industry separately. I just feel like it's all one big jumble and cinema is global.
Yeah. Vikram, your take?
No, I'll second that. It's absolutely right. But also the fact that because of the pandemic and because of the streaming platforms, there's more exposure to all of India.
Yeah.
I have watched a lot of Malayalam films and stuff, but recently I've been all the more seriously watching them, like Minal Murli or whatever, or a Bengali film, or
Marathi films, so many beautiful Marathi.
And you see Marathi, and you see all these films, you see them with the new eyes, and another thing is we sometimes actually watch them with more subtitles than though we have an option of, because you want to hear those flavors and what they actually felt when they sang it. So, and most people in South India know a lot of languages. Like in Bangalore, if you go, they know 5 languages. Okay. And I see a day coming very soon when all of us will know, everybody in India will know minimum 3 languages, which is a very beautiful thing. We already know English and Hindi, I mean, except for me maybe. So that is a nice thing where everybody is. And this thing about, like she says, it's North-South. I mean, the movies are, initially they used to tell us that what they used to always like about the films which were made down south was that they felt we were more committed to time and schedules and like, we'll stick to that. Then there came a time when they started liking our stories because of, actually because it was a different world altogether. Now it's, you want to celebrate cinema in all its forms, and I think the stories that are coming in, and it's also there's a newness to what's coming. So it's nice that they're being celebrated. It's nice that, and as an artist, when you grow, your fan base actually slowly expands, whether you know it or not. You'll suddenly go to some weird town somewhere, like during Ravan, Jhansi, and like, it was so nice because I was driving with this guy almost for 20 days, and suddenly one day he just turned and said, "You done any Hindi film?" I said, "No, but I've just dubbed this film, Aparajit, right?" He stopped the car, came around, he said, "Sir, I want you to talk to my mother now." I said, "Hey, wait, you have to go to location of Manisa's unit." It's like, no, you have to talk to her. I said, "Because I watch your film every day. I had this dog, talk to her now." And he made me talk, and I was like, wow, somebody in Jhansi knows me, And, it's slowly, that's how for every actor, that one fan, the first time I came to Mumbai, and I mean, I've been in Mumbai, nobody knew who I was, and I was in movies. And somewhere, some guy in a store, and I was walking around, and he looked at me, and I was saying, I hope he recognizes me, I hope he knows me, So, as your films, more films come out, people see you, and it's so nice.
For me, I just wanted a small thing, but when I was shooting in Satara for my 3rd film, hardly people knew me there. But I was shooting in a marketplace, we were doing an action sequence, and then after that we wanted to pick up some chaat in the evening. I went there and I was given free food. They refused to take money from me. The amount of love people have for actors. We're
so
blessed to be in
nice.
this industry.
And the bigger the reach, the
and there's no language.
Yeah, there's no language anymore.
Yes, and that's the best thing, that we are breaking these language barriers, across the country. And as you said, when you go abroad, it's an Indian film. It's not a North film, not a South film. So let's certainly hope for better and bigger Indian cinema, and that's what is coming true with PS1. So go out and support it. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.